Hi, Justin. How are you?
Doing well. How about you?
I can't complain. Weather is great.
That's good. Busy
Tax.
week, I know. All right. So, just a brief reintroduction about myself in case people watching missed our last video together. My name is Justin Macari, owner of MacTax CPA. One of the services we do for business clients and personal clients is NFT and crypto taxes. We use ZenLedger as our preferred software and what we use for all of our taxes and even my own personal NFT and crypto taxes.
Hi, all. I'm Jonte Harrell. I'm the CFO of ZenLedger. We simplify crypto taxes using software. So think of us effectively as TurboTax for crypto.
Right. So, and it can, you know, it's TurboTax for crypto, and it's so helpful in demystifying a lot of all of the complexities of crypto. Um, Brief explanation of why understanding crypto taxes is important for CPAs out there. In personal experience, a lot of CPAs are maybe ignoring it. Maybe they don't have the time during tax season to take the hours of research to understand crypto, but it's an emerging area that is needs to be reported. It's the first question on the Form 1040. Um, ZenLedger does a great job of putting out a lot of information and blog posts helping CPAs understand crypto. And it's going to be an issue where as more and more people adopt it, it's going to become a reporting requirement for both personal and business taxes. Um, I'm
Absolutely.
sure, I'm sure, John, that you can attest to the growing number of people using the software as an example of more people adopting crypto, more people needing to do the proper reporting.
Absolutely. We're a freemium model. And so customers can basically sign up and get outputs within minutes. So up to 25 transactions, integrating is free. And if you have more of the transactions, if you have a more complicated tax situation, whether it's multiple exchanges, DeFi, NFTs, we can do it within minutes. And I think that's something that we offer to not only individuals but CPAs as kind of a superpower for them. If the customer is savvy and wants to do it themselves, great, we can enable that in minutes. But the CPAs can also leverage us, and we're educating more and more to make sure that folks know about us and what we can do to help them.
Right. And me and Scott did a video. Maybe we can link it down somewhere of the walkthrough of the Tax Pro suite for CPAs and even just using it a little bit for regular individuals. I think one of the big things that taxpayers and CPAs who are maybe just starting to get familiar with this space and tuning in to learn a little bit more is that every crypto transaction, almost every crypto transaction, with the exception of self transfers and strictly buying crypto with US dollars, is a taxable transaction. So, wrapping crypto, trading one crypto for another, buying an NFT with crypto, DeFi is ordinary income transactions. And I think that's an area where people get maybe confused on, where they may buy one crypto and swap it for another one, and they never sell to US dollars thinking they don't have any taxable transactions. And most likely and they do have reportable transactions. And also, it can be confusing with the 1099 reports generated from, let's say, a Coinbase or some of these exchanges, because the cost basis is lost once it gets sent to a decentralized wallet, a MetaMask. Um, and when it comes back to Coinbase, as an example, these exchanges don't have the proper cost basis, which is where using something like ZenLedger is pivotal in getting the correct answer. Otherwise, you will have overstated capital gains. Jonathan, I don't know if you would feel the same way. That's probably still one of the largest misconceptions you see out there in practice.
It is, unfortunately. And many taxpayers have kind of glanced past the form, the 1040 that we mentioned. It's right on the front and it asks these questions. And so folks have unfortunately selected incorrectly because they weren't aware of the actual treatment. And so, to my earlier point, what we want to do is continue to educate both individuals and CPAs. Our Tax Pro video, our suite is effectively live. We've made an incredible amount of upgrades to it, and you can see a demo. CPAs can look at that on our YouTube account.
Yeah, and just to go a little bit deeper on that IRS kind of guidance, like we were talking about, everything is considered a taxable transaction. And you have the theme that I try and tell people is always convert back to US dollars. So if we're thinking about a transaction conceptually, if you purchase one Ethereum and you buy, and that Ethereum is worth 3,000, and you buy an NFT with that one Ethereum, and at that time Ethereum is $4,000, you have a $1,000 gain that now becomes your $4,000 cost basis in the NFT, but you still need to recognize that $1,000 gain on the Ethereum in this example. That's a simple example where most people can track and follow that. The practice of actually, using, doing that in real life without a tax software is virtually impossible, I would say. And not to mention the optimal cost basis of first in, first out, highest in, first out, last in, first out, measuring between what is the most favorable cost basis.
Yeah, and those are great takeaway points. I think CPAs in particular should be knowledgeable as to kind of the average consumer in crypto, and most consumers show up with more than one exchange, more than one wallet, and they may have other transactions. We've mentioned NFTs, non-fungible tokens. Those transactions deemed art on the behalf of kind of a consumer, from their perspective, it just looks like art, but it's actually a taxable transaction. And so I think it's important for CPAs to just ask a few general questions that will lead them to a lot of answers and also save a lot of time. So to your point that, it's virtually impossible to like pull all of this together by hand. We try our best to help. We try to understand what that cost basis is. It's hard to go back in time. However, we effectively have a recommendation engine that says this connection is missing. And so we do the hard work for you.
Yeah, that's a great kind of item in Zen Ledger, and it's helped me communicate to clients several times. Hey, you have all these outgoing transactions, and the system is trying to inform you that there may be a missing source here, because if you have NFT A going out, but it was never purchased, it's going to give you an error saying this is getting taxed at a higher rate because we don't have the cost basis. So the system is good in terms of letting you know where there may be something missing, even if you don't know what is missing, which is a really great feature. Another thing that I find helpful, two things I find helpful is, one, the ability to click directly into the blockchain to see what the price was on that day and the detail of the transaction when it comes to decentralized wallets. You can easily link it with your public address. And then in terms of categorizing income, because the IRS, to continue with IRS guidance, taxes all of crypto, NFTs, DeFi, all as one category, which is property. So not like stocks. There is no wash sale rule like with stocks. It's different in the sense that it's all considered the exact same property, and you have to figure your cost basis once you switch from one property to another to convert back to USD. And having the software to be able to click in, view the detail is important. Let's say you received payment through staking, which is mostly the equivalent of like interest income, if we're trying to relate this to typical investments. So staking is like interest income, which is ordinary income tax. Or if you receive payments in crypto, that's ordinary income at the time you received it. Doesn't matter if you sold it to US dollars. Zenledger allows you to pick categories, whether it's staking income, payment income, other income, miscellaneous reward income. So that's another great feature that I find very helpful as the CPA in order to categorize this and then walk the client through, okay, you earned $500 of staking income, you earned $10 of rewards, you received a $2,000 payment for being a Discord monitor that you got paid in crypto.
Yeah, thanks for those points and diving into details, because I, as a consumer, someone who has a CPA, I know that, frankly, I have forgotten that I received an airdrop. I've forgotten that, right? There was a cool new wallet that required me to plug in um, for this new NFT. And, fast forward a year later, when you're trying to get your situation together to file taxes, it takes a lot more time. And so, understanding that those different flows do pose taxable events. Uh, Also, I'd like to talk a bit about like common challenges that CPAs face. Um, Justin, you've been doing this for some time, and you've done it not only for yourself, MacTax, but you've also done it at a large corporation, and so you understand the pain points from many different levels. And I'd love to hear, what you think some of those common challenges are.
Yeah, I think I would say one of the biggest common challenges for CPAs is probably having the time to research and learn about crypto in a time where it's very busy. There's a shortage of accountants kind of out there, so most accountants are working several hours during tax season. So I think most really do want to learn about crypto. Most CPAs want to learn and expand their knowledge. I think a lot of them either don't have the time or they don't know where to go look for accurate information on it. And I think another pain point might be not actually being invested in crypto. Like I purchased NFTs, I bought crypto early on. So I'm kind of in the space, investing, buying, and I kind of am seeing it for myself, which allows me then, when I'm going and doing the research, to connect the two worlds of what's actually going on in crypto and what the tax rules are, kind of bridge that gap and help explain it to people. Say, okay, the IRS has this square set of rules, and this NFT and crypto is a circle, and we got to make the two kind of work in the sense of, it's a very rigid structure currently that the IRS has, but there is opportunity to take advantage of the limited rules that we are given at this time. And I would say a good place to go start for most people wanting to learn is IRS Notice 2014-21. That's kind of the authoritative source. And there's a large set of frequently asked questions on virtual currency on the IRS website. So that's a good point to kind of start with, along with all the content, we're putting out this week, which I think some of it, even in the Zenledger articles that I've been reading, they do reference all of those as the IRS guidance.
Yeah, what's interesting about our platform, to your point, to address some of those common challenges, is we offer premium support, and so even free customers have that premium support. And I know CPAs, as they create accounts, reach out all of the time to demystify some of the jargon, right? Because we're still within the broad space of finance, and so whether staking or NFTs or various DeFi phrases, dank sharding, or any type of language that can come up when we're talking about the wide world of crypto.
Right, that is half the challenge, is demystifying the jargon.
Yeah, and so we're here 24/7 effectively to help. Another, I would say, common challenge that I've heard is just understanding how the CPA can understand just enough to refer their clients to either pull in those integrations themselves because they're more tax savvy or more tech savvy, if you will. So they can refer them to ZenLedger and say, hey, fill it out. Fill out the sign up form, pull in your wallets, your exchanges, and then bring a form back to me. So that's one way, which is effectively having the client bring the form to the CPA, and then also the CPA, once they become savvy and we help educate more CPAs, the CPA can also provide that solution, can understand and ask those questions. What wallets, what exchanges do you have? And so effectively, if you kind of zoom out, that's at least two ways that CPAs can upsell and bring in more revenue for their practices.
Right, exactly. And you brought up a good point. Knowing what files to ask the client for is a big component of it. Knowing, okay, so I see something new almost every day, it seems like, and it's being able to take what you're seeing that's new, understand where it fits in the landscape of what the IRS gives us guidance, and then helping the client, sometimes asking what files to pull, what raw data you need as the CPA. And we've worked with the team a couple of times where we'll see a new exchange or something, and either myself is able to build an import file, or the team is able to get it integrated so that it imports cleanly just from an integration API standpoint. So that can also be a pain point going back, is knowing the technical side of importing, exporting, how to get it into the system. But yeah, you guys do a great job of taking that stress out a little bit so CPAs can focus on the tax side.
Yeah, and I think as you look across platforms, because crypto tax is definitely a growing space, it's important, to your point, to make sure those newest offerings within the space are covered. For example, Solana, Arbitrum, Optimism, those are chains and protocols that we are rapidly integrating and bringing into the platform. And so the CPA is using a platform that doesn't have some of those newer and I would say more robust protocols, then it presents a problem because it becomes more manual. And so, just understanding that CPAs, as you evaluate platforms, because ZenLedger is one of many, do try to understand if that platform supports your customer. We aim to support all. That's why we kind of started with individuals, knowing that if we can build something that supports everyone, every individual when they show up, then that scales to enterprises. It scales to governments. We've had an IRS contract for the last 3 years, and it's suited us well to just start with the customer and focus on them, because that's where the pain point starts, and then leverage that for CPA's benefit, and so they can upsell.
Right. And and we get clients all the time who are, they're nervous about crypto. They're scared. They want to make sure they do the right thing. Taking steps as a CPA, you can help them say, okay, you're working with a CPA. We're using a tax software, a crypto tax software. We're also using a crypto tax software, ZenLedger, that has a contract with the IRS. So we are clearly making a good faith effort with all of the knowledge, with all of the resources available to us, to do the best accurate reporting as possible with the limited knowledge and resources that there are out there in terms of what the IRS has given taxpayers in terms of guidance. So this is just one more kind of step you can use to sell to your clients as, hey, you've entrusted me with your taxes. You've entrusted our firm with your taxes. We are going to, leverage ZenLedger as the software. And this is one additional level of kind of due diligence, comfort, trust that we are using to make sure your taxes get filed accurately.
Indeed. So last but not least, we'll touch briefly upon the Tax Pro solution, effectively the suite that helps CPAs specifically. It's specifically designed for them, help solve their pain points, not only in terms of onboarding, but managing customers and then their various tax situations. Justin, I assume you've tried this out.
I live in there.
Early thoughts? Any early thoughts, and frankly, points where we can improve? Because frankly, we're wanting to make sure that CPAs give us the insights that we can use to help them. So it's a flywheel of effect. The more we help you, you're more successful, and then we help more folks.
Yeah, and the platform has really come a long way the last year and a half, really, even since I've been using it. Being able to either have a client share their existing Zen Ledger, or CPA can fully manage the client account is a huge feature. So some clients are a little bit more hands-on. They want to upload everything themselves. Otherwise, they can send it to you, and it could be strictly managed by you. So you can, either way you go in, the view is still the same once you access the client. It's very similar to how most accounts have QuickBooks, and you see all your list of clients in QuickBooks or whatever tax software you use. You see your list of clients. Same way with Zen Ledger. Within the system, there's that new snapshot feature, which is great. It allows you to save your progress. Can help when importing lots of different wallets and exchanges. If you just need a reset and go back, that's a great feature too.
That's great to hear that you're enjoying it. And we debated a lot about the snapshot feature internally. It's almost like a go back in time or a kind of save feature. But we wanted to make sure that folks could, the platform was flexible and supported folks, right? Sometimes you need to just reset, and sometimes you got to go back a little bit in time. So we're looking forward to making improvements along the way to take even more suggestions and make those reality.
Oh, of course. Whether you're a CPA or doing this yourself, everyone needs an edit undo button. So that's a great feature to have. I think it's a key point of really Zen Ledger. It helps you in terms of giving CPAs and their clients the comfort to upload new transactions, to continue to keep using the platform, knowing they won't lose their progress.
Okay, great. Well, we're coming up on time. And I know it's tax season for you, and we are sending you more clients today. So I won't hold you too much longer, unless you had any final points.
Awesome. No, thanks for having me. Happy to be here, and looking forward to continuing this journey together.
Great. Thanks for your time.
Of course. Thank you.